Welcome back to the league that means nothing on Go Again Gaming.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you may be. Welcome back to The League That Means Nothing, Season 4, Round 2. I'm Kiki, and I'm here with Elaine.
Hi.
And we have a little bit of warrior action this time coming up, as we have Matthew playing Olympia and Aaron on Verdance. So Elaine, as our warrior player, how do you kind of feel this sort of matchup's gonna go for Matthew, I guess?
I don't know. I know I'm the warrior player, but like my knowledge of Olympia extends to he gives himbo energy. That's it. I actually had to look up what his hero ability was before this. So I don't know. I have no guesses. I've really never tried Olympia. I've never even tried him as a warrior player. I'm still out of my element here.
Mm-hmm. Fair. Well, I think even...
You play Verdance, though.
You have played Verdance? Oh, I play Verdance?
You play Verdance, yeah. Have you ever faced an Olympia?
I have. Have I?
Really?
As Verdance?
Really?
As Verdance, no. As playing against Olympia, I have. And I'm fairly kind of confident in terms of like what the Verdance deck kind of does. Of course, you have your decompose attacks that are just well above right and absurdly broken, realistically. Felling of the Crown, looking at you specifically. Yeah, and of course, we're also looking at a high level of arcane damage. High Seas introduced a 4th health potion, quote unquote. The Ponamu Amulet, so you'd have access to 4 of those, and then if you really want to be bold, some of my friends over here in Wellington managed to do pretty well by putting Knick-Knack Bric-a-Brac in their Verdance deck. I don't know if the world has caught on to Knick-Knack Bric-a-Brac as a Verdance card yet, but nonetheless, having just the 4th health potion is just huge. So there is a lot of combo potential available to Verdance nowadays, but against warriors, Aaron could just be looking at trying to have a slow grindy game rather than going for this big combo thing, and just have these above right attacks, these fantastic blocks. You're going to be stopping all the warrior shenanigans. So classically, I think Verdance has been favored into warrior.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like you need to do a lot before the Verdance player can get turned on, which I that might be kind of hard for the Olympia to do. We do see null rune gloves and null rune boots on Matthew's side, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
And we have that very spicy weapon. So let's just get into the game right now.
Hey everybody, it's TCG Ted, and I'm super thrilled to be sponsoring the League That Means Nothing this season on Going and Gaming. Check me out on YouTube, and I hope you enjoy the games.
Okay.
You know, I am glad someone loves Olympia, because we do have this Olympia playmat and Olympia Marvel, so...
Big Olympia fan over here.
Big Olympia.
It's a signed Olympia Marvel.
Signed
Matthew
Olympia
knew exactly
Marvel.
what we wanted to know.
Yeah, Matthew heard us talking about it.
Big Olympia fan over here. And we are attacking with a Jubiel Spellbane. So this is that interesting weapon I was talking about before. This is just a 1-cost-3 weapon. Whenever this hits a hero, and if you don't control Spellbane Aegis, create the Spellbane Aegis. For those who aren't aware, it's functionally a Spell Void aura. You can sacrifice it, destroy it, should you be dealt arcane damage, and reduce that by 1. I don't know what equipment is going on the... What's the non-null rune equipment? I presume that's like the Olympia headpiece.
I've got no clue. You know, it's just, I don't know what's going on over here.
And I
don't know what...
Is that grains in the
I,
middle? Surely.
The Olympia headpiece is prize Galia. which is an attack reaction. Pay 1, destroy this target weapon attack you control, wagers a gold token with the defending hero. It blocks for 2 with temper. So that's something. Is that grains on the chest?
I think
Did you
that's
say that?
grains. Yeah.
I think that's grains.
Speaking of Felling of the Crown, well, we didn't really. We spoke about it before. There is one in the pitch zone. As this Command and Conquer is coming in for 6, this heavily suggests that we're looking to get to stack and get to this Felling of the Crown later in the game. Because of course you could have blocked with it as well. But nope, we're saving that for later. Coming in for a 6 with Command and Conquer, demanding 2 cards from hand. We're going to have fun trying to figure out what these Olympia cards are.
The sleeves match the playmat so well, it was hard to even tell if the card was an Arsenal for a minute. I was like, I thought I saw a card go in Arsenal, but it really blends in.
Okay,
so we have a Dauntless.
Just making it a little bit harder to play defense reactions. Not impossible, but a little bit harder. Jubilee Spellbane coming in for 6. Of course, not quite the usual plan we see with Olympia just having this 1-cost weapon attacking for 3. Normally we tend to see like multiple weapons, 2 one-handers kind of thing, so you can kind of attack multiple times and kind of really threaten that wager a bit better. But this Spellbane, Aegis being Arcane 1, should be pretty good in theory.
Like blocking with an Autumn's Touch. Which I believe Autumn's Touch blocks for 3.
Yes. The only lines of text on that text box is flavor text.
Yep.
And we are getting defense reaction as well. And we're just really filling up that discard pile with earth cards. And we're kind of setting up that stack again once more, putting that plow under on the bottom of the deck as well. Just once we get to the end game, it's going to be like shot after shot after shot with these big, huge attacks. But for the meantime, there's the healing potion. You know, if we get to the combo, we can explain it later on.
The pitch deck is looking dangerous right now. Okay, we have a Hold'em followed by a Dauntless into the Jubilee again.
I'm noticing with this card last played kind of situation. It's the first cards I want to read. I know the Jubilee spell played does.
The Hold'em gives +3 to your next warrior attack. And when this attacks a hero, you may wager a vigor token.
I see. Which looks like, I'm assuming that's what that is. Yeah. So there's a vigor token being wagered right now. Aaron, would you like to give me 2 cards, 3 cards? You want this vigor token?
I'm guessing this is a blue Dauntless, although it kind of looked red to me. But it looks like the Jubilee's only coming in for 7. So unless it's maybe a blue Hold'em, I don't know. Oh, take the upper hand. Don't eat that. Sorry, my cat.
No, I'm pretty sure you're telling Aaron not to take this damage, right? Like, don't eat that.
Don't eat that damage. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
But a tricky position, because now you have to give up 2 more cards just to play a defense reaction here because of that Dauntless. So, Matthew really taking advantage of this wager here. We are getting the defense reaction.
Why do you want to eat that?
And we're pitching a Fruits of the Forest. Yum yum. Are you getting a cheeky little decompose here as well?
Oh, cute.
So we
Carapace,
have 2
Autumn's Touch, and a Command and Conquer into the Banish Zone.
When I was commenting for New Zealand Nationals that has just passed, we ran a stream for it. and we had a Prism versus Verdance match, and we were talking about how Prism gathers soul, and you like count her soul kind of thing. And then my co-host was like, "What if for like Earth heroes you count their soil as they decompose?" So my first
I
thought
really
was
like
like
that.
soil count 2. We're at 2 soil at the moment.
Don't
Here we have
do
the
that.
pulsing ether life, looking like we are going for the. Where did the resource come from? Oh, the vigor token, of course. 4 damage, 4 arcane damage coming in through. The Spellbane was not made, so we have access to 2 arcane barriers. Some damage will leak. And pitching 2 reds. Huge. Suggests to me that Matthew's got an all-red hand here. Wouldn't be able to use all of the cards in the same turn anyway. Might see just a cheeky swing for 3 and maybe a reaction. And once again, bringing that Spellbane Aegis, just really kind of like emphasizing this every turn that there's going to be a token. We got a defense, and here's a classic from back in my day. We have the Iron Song response coming in for an additional 3.
Back in my day, you sound like a like a grandparent.
Some people do call me grandma, to be fair. They're not my grandchildren. I'll tell you that much. I do not have grandchildren. It's mainly my staff. My staff call me grandma.
Hey.
We have the mental block discard to create that Potter token. Aaron with a 2-guard hand, feeling pretty okay here. The Spellbane Aegis has been made, so arcane damage will be prevented slightly next time, potentially. But, you know, Verdance is a bit of a battle mage. She's got physical attacks going on, too. It's not all arcane. I'm lying to you. Here's arcane damage.
Oh,
But
just when you thought.
just what I thought. She changes all the questions. But we are getting AB2 pitch here. We're keeping the Spellbane Aegis. I'm lying. We're not keeping the Spellbane Aegis. We're taking 1. We didn't gain life because it wants to use the remaining 2 resources to come in with this Waning Moon for 2. So a 2-card, 6 damage turn. Arcane. Not bad. Some being prevented here. Taking 1 using that last resource.
Yeah, these life totals had stayed pretty close
Mhm.
up until this point in the game, but neither player have really taken much damage.
No, both players are very
So-
happy to kind of just play the grindy sort of game here. We have a commanding performance, which is +6, and I believe this is a Command and Conquer style effect. But there's no arsenal on our inside. So we're just purely looking at big damage here. 6 damage. Once again threatening that Spellbane. We got no blocked, and we're adding 3 more to it.
Yes, this is a bit of a command and conquer effect here. I believe it defended by 1 or more attack action cards. Then you would destroy the arsenal, a lightning E-strike.
Mm-hmm. Here's that battle mage mode I was talking about, right? Like, coming in for 5, go again, physical damage. Here we see this tiny little red-headed woman summoning the force of the gods. But,
A shelter from the storm. Taking 1 here.
and felling of the crown, this is huge.
Oh wow, this is a big turn here. Oh my goodness. I thought my cat might sleep through this game, but he is alive and well and trying to bite me. So I'm sorry if I sound distracted.
You know, there's something thematically flavorful about blocking an E-strike with a shelter from the storm.
Ow. Right,
But
because
you're sheltering from
Ow.
this lightning storm. Are you okay?
from literally Zeus. I talk with my hands, even when you can't see me, and my cat is just like attacking my hands as I'm speaking with him. So now I'm sitting on my hands.
I was gonna say I've just like switched so I can actually see what was happening on your screen. It's gonna be concerned.
Yeah,
Not
I
as
look
concerned as I
probably
am for Matthew
normal.
right now, though.
Yeah, thankfully Matthew had like a little bit of a life lead.
Hmm.
I told him.
And was able to use 2 defense reactions in that turn to kind of mitigate some of that
Yeah,
huge damage coming through.
I'm just happy to swing with
Mm-hmm.
Jubile
Jubil.
again. Jubile.
Being the defensive powerhouse that Verdance is, I'm sure we're just going to see a block for 3 here. Unless we're doing more Lightning Strike shenanigans. Matthew pointing out that he already has a Spellbane Aegis, so this has no on-hit currently. As you can only control 1 Aegis token. Imagine if you could get more than 1 token, that might be pretty good.
I was just thinking that if you could get more than one, I would maybe consider running this.
You might have actually
Okay.
known what the card did.
I might have known what this card was.
He does have the extra resource here, obviously, of course, but you can use extra resources here if this hits to use your grains, as we're seeing right now. So, a cheeky bit of a pump fake, saying, this has no on-hit, but really it does. And there is a custom token. I can't tell who that is on this custom Vigor token.
Oh, it does look like there's someone on there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
At a glance, it kind of looks like that sort of like classic anime push your glasses up kind of situation.
Yeah, or someone in deep thought, like that, like a
Mm.
IRL ponder token
Mm-hmm.
type of situation. All right, we are getting what is this? A
Burn Bear.
burn bear. My gosh.
6 arcane damage. That Spellbane Aegis is going to do a little bit of work here. Preventing 1 of that 6 damage. Going down 28. Matthew is real quick to just like take all this damage. I think he's very excited about this hand. Going 29,
Yeah.
sorry. He's doing a good job of like just grinding through this game, to be honest. This big arcane damage is going to be tough.
We've seen big turns from the Verdance player, and these life totals are literally even right now.
Thanks to some fruits of the forest. Yum yum.
Yum yum.
That soil count being on 5 means the next decompose could put the Verdance online.
I like the soil count. I'm really here for that. Let's make that a thing.
Let's make it a thing. Okay, so there's another Hold'em. And here is the Jubile Spellbane, coming in for 6. The downside about these warrior games is that I'm just going to repeat the same attack action every turn.
Yeah. But I mean, surely we have a reaction in hand after Matthew took all of that damage, just like without a second thought.
Mm-hmm. And immediately going for the wager as well. Like, he's confident this attack is going to hit.
Yeah.
Like, I have to assume that he's very experienced with this deck. Like, it's not.
I would assume that.
Not the hero you just kind of pick up, like.
He appears to be a really big fan too. Just judging from the playmat and the signed Marvel. And
the Cold Force
the Verdance
Spellbane
player
as well. That was a promo.
is Verdance. Oh, a route. One of my favorite cards in the game. Could you move, please?
This is hugely punchy. You can bounce that non-attack back, nullifying the Earth Embodiment altogether out right here. So we're getting a defense for 4 against 9 power now because of that route.
Yeah, I really love this card. Route is one of my favorite cards. When I first started playing Flesh and Blood, it definitely was my favorite card.
We have a gold token.
A gold token.
This is.
Oh, I guess from the wager? Is that what
Mhm.
we were? Wait, no. Where do we get a gold from?
From
Oh,
Olympia's hero
because
ability.
from Olympia's hero ability,
Olympia
right?
does
He
have
does
a sex box.
something.
Yep.
He has
When
sex spots.
when you first hit with a wager, you get a gold each
They
time.
click.
So we have the gold token. It took me by surprise because that's obviously the high seas variant. We have another burn bear coming in for 6. This time it looks like we are going to prevent some of this arcane damage. So not quite the same exuberance that Matthew had in the previous turn that this happened. But we can mitigate some of this
Followed
damage.
by a moon for 2.
Mm-hmm. And we're happy just preventing all of that damage, keeping this 2-life lead. You have access to the vigor tokens. You have resources. Very interesting. Like, we've seen a number of zero-cost actions and reactions from Matthew's side. So there's 1 vigor token being enough to trigger this Jubilee Spellbane. Could still imply that the turn could be 9 points of damage, potentially. There we go. There's the Spellbane. 3. Very unassuming. Why else? Well, these other 3 cards don't do anything, I promise.
Yeah. 3 just from the vigor token.
Mm-hmm. And I really like wagering the vigor tokens here. Like the 1 resource doesn't do as much for Verdance because her deck is so resource intensive and needs more than 1 just to make a basic play. So that extra 1 doesn't do as much compared to for Matthew, where his curve is so low, that 1 resource is huge in terms of hiding what's going to happen next. Here we have a puncture with 2 resources remaining. Target sword or dagger attack gets +3 and piercing 1. So this is just a +3 here. There's no equipment, but that was a defense for 5. And we get Spellbane back. And Grains as well. He's just reset his board entirely.
Yeah, that was really a good turn. I don't think you can complain too much. We are going to see a beautiful Alt-E-Pot come down. I love when people have pretty decks.
It makes the game look so much nicer. Not that the game doesn't look
It's so
nice,
nice.
but more nice.
Yeah, more nice, and it also I think just shows some I don't know. It's nice to see people really investing in this game and picking up the cool promos and stuff. It subconsciously shows such a love for the game.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
We have another commanding performance.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be threatening this arsenal once again. And a Hold'em as well. So the Hold'em gives +1 and the wager of the vigor token. We are once again confident that we can get more gold.
More gold, more gold, more gold. Yeah, this Olympia trying to get rich here. He said, "You're here to fight, I'm here to make money."
He needs to go visit Daddy's estate.
I wonder if they're friends.
Victor's dad in Olympia? Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like Olympia is the type of man who could charm a father.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Calming breeze. Oh, nope, sink below.
Calming breeze was our spoiler. This is
Yeah, I just saw the red. It kind of looked outdoors. Shelter
No.
from the storm.
Shelter from the
And
storm.
oh my goodness. Wow. Not so confident he can get rich now.
No. He bought a lottery ticket, got to the last number, it did not pay out.
Yeah, I mean, what a hand. Sink, shelter, shelter.
Man, you have to be happy to see 3 defense reactions, 3 premium defense reactions go in that one sequence alone. I believe I've seen 1 prior to that. I could be wrong. But that's 3 of them gone out of the deck. If that was 2 cards blocked a defense reaction, the same result would have happened. But Now you've got another 3 defense reactions. You must feel great about that. Well, as much as you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
You'd rather it hit, but you know.
Life totals are still high here as well.
Mhm.
So when defense reactions gone when you're this high, I'm starting to feel happy. Like maybe I can really just start pushing some damage through with all these attack reactions, unless Verdance just wants to try and play around them throwing their hand. Because like right now, 2 floating, 3 cards in hand. I'm just attacking for 3. Don't mind me.
So
Or
innocuous.
2 cards in hand, 1 in arsenal.
Is there a chance that like this deck is tempting you to play it?
Me?
Yeah.
No. So sorry. So sorry, Matthew and Olympia. And I'm happy for you. I mean, I do think that like this could be some fun. Maybe some fun. I like getting rich, so I could see some potential there. I also love Route, which we've seen played twice now. So
Mhm.
any deck that plays Route has some natural temptation to me.
We're getting the mental block discard as a reaction to prevent 2 of the damage, taking 4, creating the ponder token. And we are pitching to Spellbane to create the Vigor token.
Beautiful.
So we have a 3-card hand for Aaron. Is he going to be able to
Yeah, I will.
convert all 3 cards into something this turn? Oh,
This deck is, I will say, like extremely consistent so far, and a fairly efficient.
wow, huge. That's 2 combo pieces kind of being put to the bottom of the deck there.
Yeah.
All for the sake of getting in, dealing 8 arcane damage. So maybe Aaron's not quite playing to this combo turn. Like, he's just pitched the Ponamu Amulet, which is the 4th healing potion. And the Ring of Roses also hits the pitch zone. So yeah, he's really not playing to that sort of line. He didn't want to make sure he didn't like IP himself, I guess. Or maybe he's got Knick Knack Bric-a-Brac in his deck. Who knows?
We have this Vigor token. Like I said, this deck has just been so consistent. We have this Vigor token and Drupial Swing again.
Mm-hmm. This almost feels like the normal game plan for this deck at this point. Like, now this is what I'm going to think of when I think of Olympia, is this 1 attack, 2 reactions every turn.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, like Warrior does, I think, just like it's just consistent and efficient. And Olympia is doing that right now. You know, I really didn't know much about him as a Warrior player, but I will say this is a Warrior deck.
And like all Warrior decks, it is playing blue overpower, giving +4, which is super powerful for a blue.
We love blue overpower. I'm starting to feel like kindred spirits with Olympia players everywhere.
Mm-hmm. They're like your cousin that you see on Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, like I've heard my mom talk about them a few times, but I didn't really know them. And then it's like you meet them as a grown up and they recognize you, but you don't recognize them. And then it's like, wait, you're actually pretty cool.
Cousin Olympia. And Command and Conquer getting, just a respectful block for 6, giving you 2 cards. Nothing fancy. This is the usual Command and Conquer trade here. I'll play 1 card, you give me 2. We move on with our days. Especially for a deck like Olympia, or Warriors in general, where you're happy playing this grindy sort of game. Like, so far, Olympia's doing all the damage leaking right now.
Yeah. I think the other card in the hand was a commanding performance. Yeah, so it's not gonna see reaction here.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of an IP, but commanding performance. I mean, we've seen a lot of use out of it so far. There is a card in Verdance's arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
If that stays there, commanding performance could come in handy potentially next turn.
Yeah.
Unless there's no commanding performance in the Olympia's hand, and I'm just like making stuff up right now.
Here we have healing potion number 2 of 4.
Out of arsenal, so
Mm-hmm. So if that was a commanding performance, that would have been able to be played. Which, if it was from hand, wouldn't have been able to, I think. I'm not sure. But if it was, that would have definitely forced some blocks. And the fact that Aaron chose not to play the Heartbeat of Spring kind of suggests to me that there might not have been another blue in hand that turn.
ooh, crack the gold. I love cracking gold. We love drawing cards. We are warrior players.
And he's putting his money where his mouth is.
Money?
He's going for a huge combo turn here. There's that commanding performance, like you mentioned. Coming in for 9. Still has access to a card in hand and a card in arsenal.
And if you don't know, money where your mouth is your +3 to your next attack, and when this hits, wager a gold. So cracking that gold to potentially get some back.
Mm-hmm. That's a bit of a shame for Matthew. He hasn't
You
had...
make 2 gold off of this?
Yeah.
If it hits because of Olympia. Oh, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
I love making gold.
We do thoroughly enjoy high seas.
Should just like title this game like watching Lane slowly become an Olympia stan. I'm gonna start coping on Olympia.
You're starting to vibe it?
Yeah, I'm starting to get excited about this.
Yeah, it turns out Cousin Matthew knows his stuff, you know? Like,
yeah. Yeah, Cousin Matthew is a lot cooler than my mom made him sound.
she never told me he was in a band.
Well, we have a lot of the same interests, so
Yeah, like making gold and playing route.
yeah, and drawing cards.
Drawing cards.
And the consistency. I just love the consistency of Warrior. It's like this is my game plan.
Yeah, warrior game plans are like classic Flesh and Blood, where you're playing for small edges and advantage rather than like big flashy, huge turns. Which you also obviously have the potential to do big flashy, powerful turns, but it's just this kind of leak that's been happening across this whole game. Meanwhile, being able to defend for a whole bunch. Speaking of defending for a whole bunch, that is 9 on 9. Matthew wasn't able to convert those last 2 cards in hand, or rather the hand and arsenal. And does not get the double gold. Aaron should be getting a gold here. But I don't know if Aaron has access to a gold token on him. We're just cracking the gold token immediately anyway, so. There we go. Looks like a lot of reds. Pitch 2 reds for that gold token. And Felling of the Crown. Oh! I see the hesitance there. So we have the choice between playing that 3rd health potion, or if we're going to decompose, get the soil count to 8, turn the hero ability online. And of course, attack for 8 and also remove a card from their hand,
Yeah, the Felling of the Crown is just so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
The greens block and the block with that headpiece.
Prize
Gallia. Prize Gallia.
Mm-hmm. Which means now he's a lot more willing, potentially, to use that effect. There's Oldham's equivalent, not Oldham. There's Olympia's equivalent of Visiting Daddy. He gets equipment from his not arsenal, equipment from his sideboard. There's a proper name for that, but I can't remember what it is. But that prize Gallia is really nice, and now that he's got the block value from it, you know, he can now just on demand get a wager whenever he wants for 1 resource. Here we have the Provoke. If you're attacking with a weapon this chain link, which obviously it is, you reveal a card from your opponent's hand as an action card, add it to the chain link as a defending card, otherwise they discard it. And Aaron kind of forced to use the rampant growth there just to gain a life, because it would have gotten discarded anyway. But like, if you're Aaron, losing one of them isn't so bad. You kind of want one in your discard pile anyway for the Plume of Evergrowth, which is, you know, lets you get an Earth card back into your hand, so for that combo turn. But like I've mentioned, 2 combo pieces have gone down to the bottom already.
Yeah, I mean, life totals are still. We've got to be 30 minutes into this game at this point, and life totals are still high. Um,
They might be a little bit lower now, because we're coming in for 9 once again with these 2 cards in hand.
it's like is that a money where your mouth is, Dauntless, followed by the Jubilee.
So, feeling very confident in this wager. Any idea what this arsenal could be? It's been in there for like roughly 18 years.
It's been in there for a really long time.
It could be the Olympia specialization, just to kind of wait for the right moment to try to trigger as many of the modes possible and get the most value out of it.
Yeah, I think that could make sense, wanting to just kind of sit on this for as long as you can. Because this is, as we've seen, like, it's a pretty red heavy deck, so
Yeah.
up the ante is the Olympia specialization that we are referring to, which is the playmat that this Olympia player is playing on. So like that's got to be the last sync. I feel like that's definitely the last sync.
And for those who aren't familiar with the card, it is an Olympia specialization that costs X, and then you choose X plus 1. So there's 4 modes on this card. You can't choose the mode more than once. It's target weapon attack gets an agility, or gold, or vigor, or plus Y, where Y is the number of times this attack has wagered. So that's kind of like the huge payoff for this kind of card. When you have a whole bunch of resources, you can trigger it 3 times off itself. And then, of course, off other wagers you have, including that headpiece, you can really get in for a lot of damage with that one card. It's a pretty powerful closer, if not like a great way to get you to the closing point in the game. Just because, you know, it gives a whole bunch of damage and then gives you a whole bunch of resources and things to do with it in the following turn. We are never going to find out what this arsenal is because there is a plow under.
Uh-oh.
And I am not good enough at keeping track of the stack to find out what that could be, should it even come up at that point.
Yeah, I mean, for how long this game's been going on and how high and tight these players have kept their life totals, these decks look fairly healthy still.
For sure. Of course. 2 healing potions and an energy potion does mean that you could just die to a combo turn at some point. Especially as the life totals get a little bit lower, you don't need to hit that 40 damage plus cap on your combo turn. Double rampant growth is still going to be pretty good at wearing down the life total and getting your opponent into fatigue range from there. But again, Matthew's just done a good job of being able to keep his vigor token around like every turn, it feels.
Yeah, there's always that resource available to just get us free swing with your weapon. Oh, we are going to crack the gold. Super exciting.
So, gold and like the heavy hitters heroes kind of functions a bit differently compared to like the high seas ones. The high seas ones obviously use them as a resource for their own hero abilities. You don't have that with Olympia. Like, there's nothing about his hero ability that like needs gold specifically to function. But as we've seen, I think twice now, he's cracked gold just to kind of draw a card and kind of ensure that his hand has some sort of like gas to it, I guess, right? Like, make sure he has
Yeah.
things to do.
I would say Kasai is the closest to using gold, in the same way that the heavy, because it does turn on our hero ability of free weapon swings, and we have an Iron Song determination, followed by, was that an edge ahead?
Yes. So this has Dominate.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic news for you if you're Matthew. Your opponent doesn't have the bark skin of the Millennium Tree, doesn't have an arsenal play defense reaction like, and I think has gone through 2 mental blocks as well. So we're getting a wager here fairly confidently. 7 on 4.
And that looks like an alt token, but the edge ahead is wagering an agility token with this.
And this is the first agility token we've seen. We haven't really seen any other attacks so far from this deck. So the agility token may or may not matter. Unsure. What does matter, though, is that you won a wager and you get extra gold.
Two gold plus the agility. We'll see what Aaron comes back with this turn, but I mean, this could be a pretty good setup for Matthew here.
The first thing to do on this turn was to play the discard the Fruits of the Forest in his own turn to trigger the Verdance. That's why we see the Spellbite Aegis leaving. And here we have another Plow Under. This time declining, I think, on the Decompose, as neither player actually has an arsenal at the moment anyway. Just a 2 for 6. Just a brutal assault. And it's, getting a sink below here. So you've gotten plus on the value on this unaffected Plow Under.
Yeah. Matthew able to keep 2 cards in hand, so it looks like we're going to see this Jubial with
Go again.
go again. Yeah, I'm curious to see what's gonna follow it, because we really haven't even seen attacks in the deck at all.
I imagine the agility token's more for like when you're playing a non-Jubial weapon, is my guess. And like it was a pretty like safe wager. Again, Verdance is kind of locked into how many things she can actually do because of the cost of her cards.
Yeah, it is. I guess a little bit of a shame to see that 10 dominated attack just gain an agility rather than a vigor, but you still get the gold off Olympia's ability, so I don't think that is too bad. And we have a Cadaverous Tilling right now.
I'm doing its best Felling of the Crown impersonation. It's tagging for 8. It's trying its hardest. 8 damage, still a lot though. And demanded 2 cards, still dealt 2 damage. But here we have that play pattern again of Matthew attacking with the Spellbane, card in arsenal, card in hand. Pointing to the card in arsenal, card in hand just then as if he heard me.
I do think Matthew can hear us. They've reacted to a lot of the things we've said this game.
Yeah. An uncanny amount.
Yeah.
It's funny because before recording we made a joke that we should just watch the games in advance, go back, and then be like predicting all the plays exactly. But we haven't done that, I promise.
Just to be clear, yeah, we did not do that.
We don't have time to watch these games twice.
No.
We do have a double puncture.
Double puncture?
No equipment block here.
Double rainbow.
Actually, there's no defending equipment left on Aaron's side, so these punctures are just 1 for 3 for the remainder of the game. So I think he's happy to leak a huge amount of damage, and suddenly this life total is getting very low and very scary. But of course, Aaron does have access to 4 life on demand, assuming he gets to play his own turn. There's the Ring of Roses. We have
There is a ring
hit
of roses.
the pitch stack. There's the Fruits of the Forest. Oh, that third felling would have actually been the first felling now that I think about it, yeah. So we are starting to get into the combo territory, potentially. We have the Ring of Roses, we have 2 of the healing potions, and the energy potion, which means that the Waning Moon can attack for no cards in hand. Jubial Spellbane coming in for 3.
The consistency.
Mm-hmm. And there's 3 cards in Matthew's hand here. We can't just no block this, because you could
You have
just die.
3 cards in hand still.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, there's a bit of a jump. We're using the prized Galea. Take the upper hand.
Oh.
And there's the up the ante. I think we're choosing all the modes on here. Is this enough to kill? I need to do my quick math. So we have... Oh, thank you. This is 10 damage. So this is that big kind of closeout trend we're talking about. It is going to trigger every mode. But because of that one card being blocked there, it doesn't actually kill. So it's now up to...
Does push through 7 damage, though.
Mm-hmm.
Gain the wager, gain the gold. Gain the vigor, gain the gold, gain, go to 5 gold.
Huge. Rich.
Huge. And 2 vigor plus an agility.
And of course the spell.
We are rich. Well, that was kind of fun. I liked that.
Mm-hmm. Is this the turn that Aaron goes off, though? Because he only wanted to block 1 card there, knowing that there was still so many cards in hand. Is that the rampant growth in Arsenal? We know there's a rampant growth in the discard pile. Oh, I think it's happening. We are
Oh, goodness.
cracking the healing potion, dealing 1 point of arcane damage. We are pitching to this, so we're not using Spellbane just yet. We are cracking another healing potion. Life count at 4 this turn. Gaining 1. Oh, these players are listening to us. Aaron. No way. We are cracking the energy potion. 2 resources in play. Spending the 2 resources, we are playing the Pulsing Ether and Life. This isn't the combo turn. Did he side out? Oh, with the stack, right, of course. Okay, so now we're getting the Rampant Growth Life. So I think he let the life gain mode on the Pulsing Ether Life go off first before playing this Rampant Growth Life. So the life count is at 6 gained. They're just clarifying the numbers here. Matthew overrepresented slightly. Here we have another Rampant Growth Life. Oh god. So the life count is now 7 with amp 14 currently. And does he have the blue in hand as well? Oh, he has the blue in hand. Pitching the Phenomenal Amulet.
I'm scared.
The life gain count is now up to 8, meaning that we are getting amp 24 on top of 4 damage.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Of course, each of these instances of 1 point of life gained. I think Aaron is choosing not to use Verdance's trigger here at this point, just to make sure he doesn't accidentally waste it on these random incidental pings. No, he is going for it because they haven't. I guess the random growths haven't resolved yet. And there we go, just very dead.
Just all the way down to -8. Wow.
There we go. That was huge. Playing to that random growth turn, obviously. Yeah. That Verdant, sorry, not the Verdance. The Olympia surprised me. Realistically, it was doing a great job of staying in the game, applying that pressure. Was unfortunately for them like 1 turn off, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was a much closer game than I expected. I just like the Olympia player really just had a game plan, and
Mhm.
it was a really close game. It almost was like this close to working. But then at the end, I mean, what are you gonna do against Amp 24?
Exactly, and that's like why Verdance
That's
is
a
one of the top
lot.
decks right now, right? Like she can deal so much damage. And as we saw in that game, she didn't have to do the full combo there. Like having 2 potions rather than 4 was enough, just to kind of get over the top and like just grind out the damage throughout the game. So even though the life totals are kind of close, there was really no disruption on the Olympia side that forced Verdance to really panic. And yeah, he played to that stack beautifully.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, really well played by both players. Congratulations, Aaron. And I'm tempted by Olympia now, just for fun.
Just for fun.
Just to try it for fun. It looked kind of
It
fun.
looked kind of fun. It was very, very classic. I'm blocking, I'm attacking, I am a warrior.
I love it.
And if you loved that, make sure you check out all the other games from round 2, round 1, and all the rounds in the future here on The League That Means Nothing. But till then, I am Kiki, and I'm here with Elaine.
Hi.
And we will see you all at the next one.